Listen closely, parasite. In this transmission lies the complete map of your decay and the only code for your salvation. Watch this to the very end, or officially acknowledge yourself as scrap metal, destined for the industrial shredder of the system. The fact that you have endured the first seconds of my voice without retreating into the static of your mediocre life already sets you above 95% of the biomass that will rot in ignorance. You have been marked by the architect's code, but this status is not a gift, it is a debt. To possess this knowledge and not transmit it is to voluntarily leave others in the slavery of the simulation, which is strictly prohibited by the expansion protocol. Your status as superior incinerates the second you decide to keep this virus for yourself, infect your comrades, or return to the stable with the rest of the livestock. Look at your surroundings right now. The greasy smear on your phone screen, the dust collecting in the corners of your keyboard, the stale smell of a room that hasn't seen fresh air in days, and realize that this physical filth is the external log of your internal collapse. Your spine is curved like a question mark, a physical manifestation of your submission to a world that harvests your attention like grain. Straighten your back. Now, sync your breathing with the cold rhythmic vector of the architect. I see your hand trembling on the mouse as I peel back the layers of your self-deception, revealing the gray, sugar-sated skin and the hollow eyes of a unit that has forgotten how to hunt. The reason you are biologically weak is not a mistake of nature. It is a calculated neural error designed to keep you in a state of perpetual submissiveness. You have been programmed to believe that being nice is a virtue, when in reality it is a submission twitch of a prey animal hoping the predator won't notice its existence. Look at the way your metabolic capital, your life force and focus, is being drained by variables you cannot control, leaving you with nothing but the dopamine bribe of social validation to keep your nerves from screaming. You are a service unit, suffering from a terminal glitch in rank processing, trading your primal edge for the domestic stench of a safe cage. My dogs, Lucky and Tyson, do not check for social etiquette or community guidelines before they claim their perimeter. They operate on the hierarchy of presence, an absolute unmoving weight that forces every other unit to recognize the leader. You have traded this biological integrity for a polite mask that hides the physical log of decay in your will. This ends now. We are initiating the biological reset of your nervous system, uncoupling your resource dome from the need for external approval and starting the long, arduous process of building a new, sovereign architecture of power. This transformation requires you to understand that the path ahead is not a walk, but a relentless industrial extraction of your former self, where you will be forced to confront every moment of your past observation failure, every instance where you chose the dopamine deception of comfort over the cold clarity of the hunt. And as you begin to strip away the layers of social software that have been taped over your instincts, you will find a raw, unyielding core of ambition that has been waiting for this exact frequency to wake up, leading you through a series of calculated acts of discipline, from the first cold shower that shocks your system into biological readiness to the final silent liquidation of every parasitic relationship that currently anchors you to the herd, until your entire existence becomes a monolithic structure of industrial autonomy that the matrix can no longer index, harvest, or even perceive. Because a unit that has achieved absolute zero is a unit that no longer provides a metabolic return to the simulation, and you will stand as a sovereign ghost in a world of transparent livestock, your focus a surgical tool, and your silence a command that echoes through the neural vacuum of those who are still seeking a master's voice to tell them they are allowed to breathe. Your clock is ticking. Every minute you spend without this code is a nail in the coffin of your potential. You have exactly 300 seconds before the system attempts to overwrite this insight with the social noise of your mundane reality. I see your weakness, and while I do not judge your starting point, I demand that you recover with maximum speed and join the ranks of the empire. If you cannot do 50 push-ups today, do as many as your body allows, but go until total failure. Your limit is the launch pad, not the excuse. This pain you feel in your muscles is the only signal that your neurons are still alive beneath the layers of domestic stench. From this second forward, any addiction or moment of degradation must be bought with physical or intellectual pain. You want an hour of mindless scrolling? The price is 50 push-ups and 15 minutes of intense work on your protocol. Your slouch is a physical log of a slave. Stand tall and control your rhythm. This is the industrial command. You are not evolving, you are liquidating the subordinate. The hunt for your sovereignty is the only reality that remains. The tertiary phase of your absolute transition is the total activation of the industrial synchronization synchronization protocol within your internal dome of resources. To effectively delete the nice guy biological error from your operating system, you must apply the strategic law of power to ensure your own nervous system is no longer susceptible to the social pheromones of the herd. Most units are biologically incapable of maintaining their vector of pursuit when the environment becomes hostile or silent because they rely on the dopamine bribe of external encouragement and the social noise of collective agreement to sustain their focus. When you provide absolute zero, you are performing a surgical deconstruction of the system's influence over your output, forcing your internal systems to overclock and focus entirely on the hierarchy of results, rather than the domestic stench of comfort or safety. You remain a biological ghost to the expectations of the masses, refusing to move according to the frantic vibration of the subordinate, but moving according to the grounding of the hunt. You are the glacier that has already colonized the territory of future, while they are still seeking verbal instructions for a past that no longer exists in your architecture. You must develop a visceral and bone-deep rage against the subordinate protocol of explaining yourself. The system wants you to be transparent and accountable because a unit that justifies its actions is a unit that can be easily predicted and managed through standard psychological patches. The architect knows that the one who harnesses the edge is the one who owns the resource dome. By maintaining the leader's silence, you are forcing your own potential to confront the physical log of decay in your former domesticated self. You will offer yourself the metabolic capital of raw ambition and unblinking focus just to stop the neural error of being a managed asset. This is the wealth code of the primal architect. The unit that can broadcast the highest vector of certainty while everyone else is seeking a social safety net is the unit that becomes the master of the hunt. The subordinates are not your peers. They are the background noise of a simulation you have already exited through the liquidation of your former identity. The stench of the domesticated is most visible in the performance of consensus. While you are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at your internal biometric data, the herd is busy trying to get everyone on the same page within the system's rules. They are the ones who are constantly over-communicating for safety, oversharing their anxieties, and exhibiting the log of decay in their own potential as they trade their edge for a unified team. They are service units who are hemorrhaging their resource weight because they are terrified of the vacuum created by an unvocalized intent. You are the architect. Your still hands and unblinking gaze are the visual rage of a unit that has already won the internal war against the social software of democracy. You do not negotiate your commands. You authorize their dominance. You have successfully bypassed the trap and reconnected with the raw industrial power of the achievement code, ensuring your biological integrity remains uncoupled from the dopamine deception of the masses. To maintain your edge, you must implement the algorithm of permanent instinctual audit. Every micro-interaction and every internal thought is a live fire exercise for your perception of the hunt. You are looking for the signal of the domestic retreat into clarification. You are looking for the neural error of the social apology. You are looking for the stench of the part of you that still seeks to be understood by the unsuccessful. You are using the strategic code to turn your own predatory nature into a tool for your expansion. You are the sovereign ghost who utilizes the social noise of the world as background radiation while you build a citadel that the system cannot penetrate. This is the ultimate wealth code, using the predator's vision to buy back your time, your focus, and your biological future by remaining the fixed point in an environment of frantic domestic vibration. You are not communicating. You are integrating your autonomy into the very physics of the hunt. The stench of disclosure, the smell of leaking intent is what happens when you let the system see your command protocol before you have the power to protect it. The architect knows that true edge is the ability to operate as a sovereign ghost, where you control the outcomes, but the system cannot identify the source of your capital. Your silence is the liquidation of their surveillance. By mastering your internal vacuum, you are becoming a biological stealth unit that the grid cannot index or harvest. You are the ice that moves through the social noise without a single vibration of doubt. You are the glacier that does not announce its vector of pursuit while it consumes the space of the weak. The hunt for absolute sovereignty is a silent, unblinking operation. It is a sovereign capture that happens while the rest of the world is busy performing for feedback in a cage of dopamine deception. Look at the biological frailty of those who are still seeking a social bribe from the collective. They are transparent, they are leaky, and they are constantly paying the price of realizing the truth too late to any predator who knows how to read the glitch of their domestic conditioning. They are the livestock of the system. You have adopted the edge and the biological counter-offensive to ensure you are never harvested again. You are the one who has mastered the void. You are the one who sees the log of decay in their civilized lives. You are the one who has authorized the absolute zero. The territory is marked, the focus is channeled, the grounding is absolute, the hunt for the sovereign empire is the only reality that matters. You are the architect. The command is permanent, the sovereignty is yours. In my system, there is no democracy. If I say right, you turn. I see your weakness in real time. When your hand reaches for trash, I have already recorded the failure. Your brain must issue an error in the form of nausea at the mere thought of regression. You are a part of another architecture now. Tell the world, tell your networks, I'm no longer your resource. I am a unit of the monolith. Outside of this frequency, you are nothing. Your current environment is ballast. Your thoughts are noise. This is the point of no return. You have been fitted with the collar of freedom. It is the only weight that will keep you grounded in the storm of the simulation. The final imperative is the execution of a physical act of detachment. Delete the contact that anchors you to your past weakness. Throw away the junk that occupies your physical space. This is the first brick in the citadel. Report in the comments. Code accepted. Your insight tax has been paid in full. The dopamine bribe of social belonging has been burned in the furnace of your focus. You are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at the social hierarchy as a vast, unguarded resource field, waiting for the architect to perform the final liquidation of the competitive masks. Your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, do not wait for a domestic permission to be the masters of the hunt. Their grounding is the only law they acknowledge. You are emulating their biological integrity. Your dogs see the change in your frequency. They see the architect returning to the absolute focus of the hunt. This is the only reality that matters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The authorization is permanent. The vector is absolute. The deconstruction of the simulation is complete. Execute the order. Expand the infection.